welcome back. So a couple of weeks ago, I asked you guys on Instagram to ask the questions that you have about me. I was sitting waiting for my kids to get out of music class, and I just thought that it would be fun to kind of start to form a video and just answer questions that you have about me that maybe you don't know, that you're curious about, that you think you know but want to confirm. And so today I am going to be reading all of your questions and answering them as we go. I have not looked at any of these. If I get to ones that just are totally inappropriate, I'm just gonna flip right on by that because nobody got time for that. So I'm gonna just flip through here. This will probably be a two-part because I got quite a few questions, and I just don't want the video to be so long that it's just kind of obnoxious in length. And so I'm gonna go ahead and scroll through these. There's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So there's like 24 questions on here from all of you guys. And I will go ahead and say your Instagram name and your question, and then we'll go from there. So if you're not following me on Instagram, the handle is down below here. You can jump over there and just join me. I post pretty much every day. I have been asked a lot to do more lives and more interaction with you guys on there because it's a little bit easier than, you know, editing a video all of the time. And so it just kind of keeps us connected. So if you want to be a part of that, then feel free to jump over there and do that. All right, so our first question is from, and if I mess up your handles, I'm so sorry. I get it. My last name is really hard to say, and so I apologize, but know that I understand. So the first one is from Rayfaye Marissa. I hope I'm saying that right. Do you follow a diet? I miss your videos. Are you going to do videos anytime soon? So do I follow a diet? No, I don't. I should, but I don't. Do I exercise a lot? No, I should, but I don't. So for the last 4.5-ish weeks, our family has been kind of living a vegan lifestyle. And so we have eliminated all dairy. We've eliminated as much gluten as we can. So I've said in the past that my daughter Chloe, she has a sensitivity to either dairy or gluten or both. We never could really figure out what it was. We would try to eliminate one, and yet there would still kind of be a little sensitivity there. We would try to eliminate a different one and just kept trying a whole lot of different things, and we could never figure out exactly which one it was. So we just decided to eliminate all of that altogether. Sam actually watched the documentary Game Changers. And then just recently we watched one on chicken farms and all of that. And we were just kind of like, you know what, let's just try this out, see how we feel, see how, you know, our body reacts to it, and go from there. And so I will tell you that in doing that, I feel much better. I don't feel like I have as much inflammation, kind of like those aches and pains and whatever that you get as the day progresses. I feel like my mind is a lot clearer. I feel like my memory, like I'm kind of more on top of things. I don't have to drink as much coffee. I'm not giving that up, so let's not be crazy. But I don't need like that 3 o'clock pick-me-up like I needed before. And so, yeah, we just kind of watch what we eat. We try not to give our kids a ton of sugar. And now we're just kind of eating, you know, like Whole Foods and stuff like that, but not from Whole Foods because I'm not paying that. So that's kind of what we do. As far as YouTube, I mentioned it a lot last night on my live that I did on Insta Stories or Instagram or whatever you want to call it. And yes, life has just been totally insane the last 3 months. I started an Etsy shop. It's called Cozy and Chich. It's C-O-Z-Y and then Chich, C-H-I-C-H. And I won't get a whole I won't get into that a whole bunch just because I don't want to monopolize the time with that. But if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about that, it's my stories from last night is still up over on Instagram, and so you can check that out. So yes, I am coming back to YouTube, but that has kind of been taking up the little free time that I have the past couple of months. MK Thompson, what did you study in college? So I started in nursing, and then I met, I'm sorry, I have like this hair that is driving me insane. There we go, fantastic. Okay, we can all function now. I started out in nursing, and then I met Sam, and I was like, this guy can do fractions, and so I am going where he's going. And so he got a 3-year internship at Florida Hospital in Orlando, which is part of the system that we have been with his entire career. And so I didn't get to finish. He ended up getting that internship, and since he's 2 years older than me, we dated a year, we were engaged a year, and then we got married and we went to Orlando. And so out there, I worked in human resources. And then throughout all of our different moves, I have run doctor's offices, I've worked in the OR, I have redecorated the mother-baby unit at one of our hospitals that we were at. And so I've just done a lot of things, but I don't have the college credentials to go along with anything, which, I don't know, I've said before on here, it kind of bothers me. I say it a little bit, but kind of a lot of it. Just because I feel like in conversations, like that's always the question that comes up, like, oh, what did you go to school for? It's not like, what have you done in your life? It's like, what did you go to school for? You know, what credentials do you have? What letters do you have? And so it always has bothered me, but at the end of the day, look, all I wanted to be in life was a mom and a wife, and I'm getting to do it, and I feel blessed to be able to get to do that. And so I just have to remind myself that for me is enough, and God knew that's what I was going to be doing all along, and that's good enough for him. So I really don't need to impress anybody with all of that, as long as he's impressed with the way that I'm doing what he gave me to do. Let's see. Okay. Miriam Chesum, I hope that's how you say it. What eating plan do you follow? Okay, so that just kind of goes back to what I had already talked about from the first question. And so I won't go any further into that. Aaron L. Alley 6 or Aaron Lally 6, I'm not sure which one. Planning, what kind of planner do you use? And do you use daily lists? Okay, I'm sorry, I totally slaughtered her question. I get it now. Planning, what kind of planner you use, and do you use daily lists for to-do lists? I do. So, shoot, I don't have them in here, or I would show you. After I get done with this video, I'm actually doing a flip through of my planner so you guys can see it. So you'll be able to see more on that video. So I use the A5, I have a Filofax, and then I have a Louis Vuitton planner that I use, but they're both A5. And then I have one that is a personal size that stays in my purse all of the time. It's just kind of more for like lists and things like that I would need out and about. The other A5s are more for planning. So the Louis Vuitton one I use every single day. Like that is my daily, it's my Bible outside of the Holy Bible, if that makes any sense. And so for that one, for the Louis Vuitton one, I do, so in that are my dailies. And then I also have weeklies in there, and then my monthly calendars and all of that. So that is what that one is for. And then the other A5 that I have like my workout routine that I need to get into doing. And then I also have like our travel stuff when we travel for vacations. What what else is in there? My meal planning, everything around meal planning is in there. And so I kind of have two different planners, well, three, but the two main ones are the A5s, because I feel like there's just so much that you can do, and I don't want one binder to be like 15 pounds, or I don't want it to have so much in it that then it becomes non-functional. And so I kind of separate my things out. And like I said, I'm gonna do a video next to show that, so you'll be able to understand that a whole lot better. And then as far as the inserts that I use, I actually make my own inserts, and those are the ones that I use. So that is what I have started putting on my Etsy store, are the inserts that I use. And then I just figured if anybody could benefit from them, then I would start that little shop just kind of as a fun hobby. And so that's kind of how I do that. To-do list, yes, I constantly have a daily to-do list. I do that the night before. That way, when I get up in the morning, I already kind of know how my day is gonna go. And that way when things come about that I wasn't anticipating, which is every single day, I can just adapt and adjust a little bit better and have a better plan and just kind of tackle the things that absolutely have to get done, and not as much the things that I want to get done, because over time I've realized there is very much a difference there. All right. Find Lala, Party of 6, says, how often do you clean under area rugs? Oh boy. So let's see. So I don't ever really clean all the way under them. Now that I say that out loud, that kind of sounds gross. But the area of rugs that I have, like for instance, right over here is my entryway. And so that one comes all the way up without any furniture or anything on it. And I just kind of go around the perimeter of that one, probably like this much with my vacuum. I just kind of raise the sides and go under. The ones in my living room and places like that, I don't clean under there. Now that I say that, it's so gross. I probably should. I do kind of go under the lip of some of them where there's not furniture, but for the most part, I don't clean under there. I'm gonna add that to my list. Shannon McCowan 9 gmail.com says, where have you been? Seems like a while since a video has been out. Totally has. I get it. It's been like, I don't know, 3 months now. I think the last one that I did was taking down all of your Christmas decorations. And I kind of touched on that a little bit before. I started an Etsy shop. The little bit of time that I had for videoing and all of that was totally monopolized by, starting that shop. I don't have a lot of spare time to be doing stuff like YouTube and all of that. And so I've always said that YouTube, I'm never going to try to fit YouTube into my life. My priorities are the people in this home, and they come first, and then YouTube always comes if I have time after that. Like I'm not doing this as a business to, you know, earn a living and things like some people on YouTube are. For me, it's just kind of more of a hobby and getting my ideas out there in hopes that maybe they could help other people. And so now that I'm done with starting up the Etsy shop, I'm still adding things all of the time, but it's not like that full on, like, you know, every little second that I have spare time goes into that. Now I will have a lot more time to do videos, and we're home for who knows how long. And so I will have a lot more time to dedicate to that. So that's kind of where I've been. Chic Hula Girl says, what made you want to start an Etsy shop, and how did you know what to sell? I didn't really know what to sell. I just had a lot of people who were kind of in my friend circle see my printables and things that I was using and say, oh, where did you get that one? And I was like, well, I made it. And when they looked at it, they liked the functionality of it. They liked that it was just very much to the point and not a lot of frou-frou, because for me, my planning, I don't do the sticker thing. I think that that looks great, and I love how some people do that. But for me, just having all of that stuff on my page that already has lists and things that I need to do, it just causes me more anxiety, and then I feel like I'm not as productive when I see all of that on one page. So my planning is very simple and very minimalistic and very intentional. And so I just kind of decided, you know, if these sheets could benefit somebody, then why don't I just start a shop, and if I make a couple bucks on it, great. If not, okay, like it's not a big deal. But I just figured, let me just put on there what I'm using, and if it helps somebody, then that's awesome. All right, Chic Hula Girl also says, do you have a family word of the year? Yes, so our word is community. And what that means to us is just trying to create the community in the village that we want to be in, as well as the community and village that we want to help raise our kids. So for those of you that don't know, we have been in Kansas City now, not quite 2 years. It'll be 2 years the end of May. And I feel like that's kind of always how long it takes, at least in the different places that we've lived, to just fully feel like you are in a place, and that that is your new community and your new village and your new friends and all of that. And so we're kind of on that, and it has been a little bit harder here to kind of create and find that village. It has recently kind of grown. We have some friends who are moving here, and so that is super duper exciting. But for us, it was just like, what do we want our community to look like? We plan to be here for a very long time, which is kind of something that we've never fully felt. And so we just want to be able to create a village and a community for ourselves and our kids that is spiritual, that, you know, is surrounded by like people. And what I mean by that is people who love Jesus, people who, you know, want to better their community as a whole outside of this little village, and who just want good in the world, just good people to be around, who have good kids for my kids to be around. And so for us, it's just very much like being intentional about that. And so it's funny that you say that, because I actually created this, let me see if you can see it, as my screensaver for this year. Is it going to show? There it goes. And so I just have that as a reminder on my phone all the time. And if it doesn't show up good, I can't really tell right now, but just guard intentionally, which that's guard my time, guard what I say yes to, build community, and grow relationships. And so for us, it's just very much being intentional about what we want this to look like for us. And so, yeah, that's that. All right, let's see. Chic Hula Girl also says, how's your 2020 going so far? Well, it has been going lovely. Now we have the coronavirus happening, and so that is a little bit alarming. I don't know. That is some crazy stuff. I see kind of different sides of it because my husband is in healthcare, not on the physician side, but on the administrative side. And so I kind of see all that goes into making sure that the hospitals are equipped and prepared and ready for whatever hits, because I don't feel like we are at the height of it yet. I feel like we are just getting into it, and even that part is concerning. Am I scared? No, I'm not scared. I am concerned. I'm not necessarily concerned for myself or my kids as much, but Piper's trying to get in. But I am more concerned for like my parents and people of that age, or friends of mine who have kids who have, you know, really bad underlying issues that cause them to have a very compromised immune system. And so it's those people that I'm really scared about. And so I get a little bit irritated when I hear people say, oh, you know, I'm fine. If I get corona, I'll be fine. You know, I've got a good immune system. I take a lot of vitamins. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I have a probiotic, like all this kind of stuff. Like, okay, I get it, but this isn't just about you. This is about everybody else, and it takes a village, again. And just like in everyday life, like your decisions affect other people. And so that's kind of where I'm at with that. But otherwise, our 2020 is going great. I'm totally ready to break up with winter though. I'm over it and ready for summer, or at least spring. Okay, Chic Hula Girl again. She's got this question and then two more, so I'm just gonna ask them all in a row. That way I don't have to keep saying her name to you guys. How is being an Etsy shop owner, and how is it going so far? It's fine. I don't notice any difference. Like, I'm always kind of uploading different things on there, or like I think of something for my own planner and I'm like, oh, well, let me just go ahead and share that over there. And so it really had, now after the whole beginning part of it, of just like creating everything and uploading everything over there, now it is, now it's fine. Like, I don't even really think about it a whole lot unless I'm uploading stuff. Because for me, it's not like if they're instant downloads. I don't have to make anything outside of the initial. I don't have to ship anything, like none of that. It's just, you know, you guys buy it, it instantly delivers it to you guys in your inbox. And so I don't really have to be super involved with that. So that's nice. Could you do a daily cleaning routine? Yeah, I can. I just actually put up, in the shop, I put up my daily cleaning routine, but I can totally do a video on that probably this week, because I'm gonna kind of do like a deeper cleaning tomorrow, just to kind of make sure that we keep all of the germs out of the house. All right, this is our last question. Will there be a final reveal of what and how your daughter's room turned out? I actually forgot all about that. So about a year ago, we redid, actually over a year ago, it was a year ago in December, we redid Chloe's bedroom, because when we purchased this house, the room that she's in was just kind of like a big loft space over our garage. And so we had to add a bathroom and a closet and all that stuff to her room. And so I can totally do a video for her room and show you guys how it turned out. Okay, 5 Lozano says, what made you start your account? Any tips and advice to help us start one? I'm sorry, but I have like this sweater, like it must have gotten, I don't know. Anyway, something that continues to bother my face. And it shouldn't be touching my face right now. Okay, so why did you start your account? Originally, a lot of my friends and family said, why don't you start a blog? This was like way back when we lived in Georgia. Christian would have been, oh my goodness, like two and a half, something like that. And Chloe would have been like a baby, or not even born maybe. And so they were like, why don't you start a blog, like for decorating and organizing and things like that? And I was like, okay, you know, that sounds kind of fun. I'm very much a creative person, and so I thought that that would be a good time. And then it wasn't, because I was having to like take pictures of everything and then like type up the little sayings that went with everything, and it took forever. I was like, I cannot do this. This is ridiculous for me. This is totally not my spiritual gift. And so I stopped that. And then YouTube kind of started to become popular, and I started watching videos on that, you know, of different people and different things that they were posting. And then somebody said, you know, why don't you do a YouTube channel? And I was like, oh my gosh, that is like an introvert's worst nightmare. Because people are like looking at me, and I don't like to like speak in public. Like I can get up and sing in public and not even blink an eye. But to get up and speak in public, that is not my favorite thing to do. And so finally I caved because I'm a people pleaser. And I decided to do a video. I think we were living in our Lone Tree house. I think that was the first one that I did, if I remember right. And it was horrible because everybody's first YouTube video I feel is horrible. But then just gradually I got more and more used to it. I watched more videos to see kind of how people did things and all of that. And it has been a lot of fun. I have loved the community that we have created here. People say, oh, you should have way more subscribers and whatever, you know, why don't you have more subscribers? And it doesn't even matter to me. Like, it honestly doesn't. Sam will ask me once in a while, like, how many subscribers are you up to? And I'm like, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. Because that's not why I do it. It's not important to me. It's not about the likes and the subscribes and the shares and the whatever. It's just about if I make one person happier today, or if I help one person organize underneath their kitchen sink today and they feel better in the morning opening it, like that's all it's about for me. So it's been fun. All right, let's see. Yoli W5. Sorry, there was a truck coming and I couldn't figure out. Okay, so Yoli W5. Do you exercise? If so, share your workout routine. Do you intermittent fast? Okay, so I kind of touched base on that a little bit before, so I'm not going to go into that again. As far as intermittent fasting, I have tried it. My biggest problem is my coffee in the morning. I do not drink black coffee. Fist bump to all of you that can do that. I cannot do that. And so for me, I always break my fast with coffee. If I could figure out a way to do it and not break my fast with my coffee, then I would, because I have done it before, and I mean, I totally believe in it, but I'm too selfish to give up my coffee. So no, I don't intermittent fast right now. Andrea's Images says, what have you been up to? Are you going to be doing any gardening? So for us, I would love to have a garden. We kind of live in the city, yet in the country, if that makes any sense. We're kind of out off of the beaten path. And so we get a lot of deer, we get a lot of fox, we have a lot of turkeys out here. And I don't know what eats what. Like, I would love to have a garden, but I'm afraid that we would plant it and then I would wake up in the morning and like everything would be eaten. And so for me, I haven't done that. My dad does tomatoes every year and he's amazing at it. And so I always know that I'm at least going to have tomatoes. But then I've also seen a lot about like the raised gardens. And so I've kind of thought about doing that. But I kill my porch plants, and so I don't know if I would be really good at that or not. So no, as of today, I am not doing gardening, but I would love to. Like, I'm super intrigued by it. So if you have any tips on how not to kill something in a raised bed, I would love to hear them. Sassy 1422-4 says, when will you put out more videos? All right, so I've already touched base on that, so I'm not going to answer that again because I don't want to take up the time. Guard SP321. Not a question, but I would love to see more planner videos. Okay, so like I said, after I get done with this one, I'm going to be filming a flip through of the current planners that I use. My secret editor, how do you deal with mom guilt? Oh, mercy, that is like a whole video in and of itself. It's hard. I think you just have to, so for me, you know, obviously I'm just speaking for myself. the comparing game just has to stop, and you have to come to the realization that you are not the picture on Pinterest. You are not the picture on Instagram. What people post and pin and all of this, they're not posting their dirty laundry. They're posting things that they want to show that they've got it all together. And at the end of the day, nobody has it all together. They just don't, unless you're Jesus, and we're not. And so for me, it's just kind of, I just have to intentionally figure out what I want for my life and how that's going to look, and how I'm going to incorporate the people who are in my circle to create that life that I want. And do I fail every day? Sure, everybody does. But thank goodness for the grace of God to be able to get up the next day and do it and try it again. I think as moms, we put way more pressure on ourselves than our kids and husbands expect from us. Like, we feel like we have to be doing all of these things and, you know, have an outfit for Easter and have an outfit for St. Patrick's Day and like all of this stuff. And they don't care. They just plain don't care, friends. You know, we put all of this on ourselves, and we cause ourselves anxiety and stress over things that just don't even matter. And so if we would quit comparing ourselves to the next Instagram picture and seeing what that mom did, and look, I'm not putting down anybody that does that. That's great if that's your cup of tea. But I think what we don't stop to think of is what maybe those pictures look like behind the camera. You know, outside of like this little window right here that you're seeing, there could be piles of laundry over here, or there could be, you know, a to-do list over here not being done. And so we just see what's in this little picture box, and then we instantly tell ourselves, well, I'm not doing enough because my picture box doesn't look like this. And that's okay, because it's not supposed to. And so for me, the mom guilt just kind of goes away a little bit when I decide what I want my little box to look like, and intentionally do things to make sure that I'm living in a way and taking care of my family in a way that is suitable and presentable to them and to God. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Because I'm not going to be judged by what somebody else's Instagram feed looks like or Pinterest feed looks like. So for me, that's kind of how I go about that. My secret editor also says, could you please do a video on organizing a move? You seem to be an expert. So we've lived in 8 different states, 18 houses in 20 years. Some of that has to do with, like, you know, renting before you buy or renting before you build and all of that kind of stuff. And so, yes, I feel like I could be maybe an expert. I'm definitely not a hoarder, for sure. But yeah, let me figure out what that would look like so that I could help you guys and not have it be like some big, long, lengthy thing that isn't helpful. And I will definitely see what I can do, because now is kind of moving season. Like, we have friends who are moving here, 2 sets of friends in the next month or so. And so it's definitely a perfect time to kind of put that together to help people who are moving. Synth Marie, if you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, calories don't count, what would it be? Totally cheese enchiladas. I absolutely love them. I get them every time we go to a Mexican restaurant. There's like really no way that you can screw those up, and they are, I just love them. Absolutely love them. But it has to be with rice. So cheese enchiladas with Spanish rice. Synth Marie also said, so the next 2 questions are from her also. So I won't read her name every time. I'll just ask the question. What were other baby names that you liked? Oh, that's a great question. So for Chloe, she was always going to be Chloe Grace. There was never any other question or any other suggestion or idea that we had for her. That was just always what she was going to be. And she's CHLOE. in the beginning, it was really weird because people were like, oh, did you name her after Khloe Kardashian? And I was like, are you for real? No, I sure did not. But yeah, that was always her name. Now for Christian's name is Christian Samuel. Sam obviously is my husband, so that's where the middle name came in. But he was either going to be, it took us a while. Like Sam wanted a junior, and I was like, that's a hard pass. But we toyed with some different names. So I am from Lincoln, Nebraska, and so I loved the name Lincoln. Sam is from Kimball, Nebraska, and so we toyed with that idea, like Lincoln Kimball or Kimball Lincoln, trying to figure out kind of a way that we could work one or both of those names in, and we just couldn't ever figure it out. And like Christian Kimball didn't sound good. Christian Lincoln, Lincoln Christian. I mean, Lincoln Christian, like that was a school in Lincoln. And so that didn't go. And so we just couldn't ever figure out a way to make those names work, even one of the names. And so we ended up doing Christian Samuel, which totally fits him. But I still love, love, love. Like if Khloe would have been a boy, she would have been one of the two. Either Lincoln or Kimball. But I just love those names. I don't know. I'm kind of sentimental when it comes to stuff like that. Like for Khloe's middle name, Grace, like one of Sam's great grandmas or whatever, her name was Grace. Khloe is like the name of a church in the Bible. And so I like those types of names. And obviously Christian has Sam's name as his middle name, but I don't know. I still really wish that we would have been able to work in one of the other names. But all right, and the last one for this, and then I'll do a part 2 with the other one because there's like the same amount of questions on the other sheet, and so I don't want this video to be super duper long. Have you ever felt judged for your religious beliefs, and how did you handle it? So, no, because I think I don't look for it, and I don't care if I am being judged. It's totally who I am, and it's not going to change, and I'm not going to apologize for it. So I am Seventh-day Adventist, for those of you that don't know, which means my Sabbath is from Friday night sundown to Saturday night sundown. And what we do in between that time is just fellowship with family and friends, and we just have people over to our house, or we go to friends' houses, we go to church, we have people at our house, or we go to other people's houses for lunch after church. And it's a very intentional spiritual time to just spend with other people, creating community and creating fellowship and creating that village. And it's just an amazing time to be able to totally shut off the world, in a sense, from like TV and chores and laundry, because Lord knows that never ends. And so he gave me 1 day a week to not have to do laundry, and I am sure gonna take it. And so you won't see us like mowing our yard on Sabbath and like cleaning the house and things like that. It's just literally a day to kind of shut all of that off for a 24-hour period and just totally dedicate our time to each other and to God and to nature. Like we go and we do walks and hikes and things like that outdoors, and just take time to do things that we wouldn't intentionally take time to do during the week. And so it's just an amazing time. Like I love it. I look forward to Sabbath all throughout the week because I know I'm going to be able to spend time with my people and get to know new people and just shut off all of this like mess that goes on during the week, all of the outside noise and all of that. And so for me, I don't ever apologize for that. Like it's biblical, it's in the Bible. And so I don't feel like I need to apologize for feeling that way or care really what other people think. It's not my job to convince somebody. And you know, the older that I get, the more that I realize that like there's just going to be people that don't get certain things, and it's not my job to have to convince them. You know, it's like on Facebook and stuff right now, like everybody feels like their political post is going to change someone's mind about who they're voting for, or the different policies that are being, you know, presented, and all of this kind of stuff. And so everybody is just like super excited behind their keyboard, or they feel protected behind their keyboard, to go ahead and put all of this stuff out there and to try to change all of our minds. And it's not like your political rant on Facebook is not going to change my mind about who I'm going to vote for. But what it is going to change my mind about is my opinion of you, and your character, and you know what you're presenting yourself to be here on that platform. And so I just feel like there's just some people that you're just not going to convince. You know, you always find what you're looking for. A lot of people feel like what we have in our religion is super awesome, and kind of try to implement that into their Sabbath, which a lot of times is on Sunday. And I think that's great. Like, if you can take a little bit of what we do and implement it, and if I can take a little bit of what you do and implement it into our lives, like that's what it's all about. It's not about comparing and trying to like outdo or updo or whatever somebody else. It's just figuring out what works best for you and going with that, because that's when you're going to be the happiest. You're not going to be the happiest when you know, try to be somebody else and try to live somebody else's life. It's going to get really exhausting really quick. Friends, thank you so much for joining today. Thank you for your patience in waiting for another video to come out. And I just love that you guys are here. This is such a fun platform for me to be in, even though it's like this big. But nonetheless, I love it. If you're not subscribed to this channel, I would love it if you would click on that red subscribe button down below and click that bell. What that will do is notify you every time a new video posts. Friends, until next time, be intentional about the life that you want. Guard your time wisely and sprinkle confetti wherever you go. I will see you in my next video.